Hi guys, welcome to Wrestling Retrospective, and in this video I will be doing my predictions for WWE Money in the Bank 2023. So to start off, we have Gunter defending the Intercontinental Championship against Matt Riddle. For me, I think Gunter's going to retain here. I feel like they're going to have Gunter even continue his Intercontinental title reign until he goes over the Honky Tonk Man's record and he becomes the greatest or longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. Therefore, that means defeating Riddle here at Money in the Bank. I think it's going to be a really good match. I was at WWE Live last night and they were both involved in a 6-man tag, and you can see they work good chemistry together, so I feel like this match is going to be really good. And they've also faced off multiple times in indie promotions. Therefore, I feel like this is going to be one of the kind of dark horse for good matches of the night. I feel like it's going to go really well. I think the hard-hitting style of Gunter and the more high-flying style of Riddle is going to clash really well. And yeah, it's a match I'm really looking forward to. But for me, Gunter to continue his reign as Intercontinental Champion. Following that, we have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. For me, I feel like Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are 100% going to defend them successfully here. Basically, because of Ronda Rousey, I can't see them having her lose anytime soon. I think they're trying to build it back up again to then maybe, after dropping the tag titles, go towards the Women's Championship again, unfortunately. I'm one of these that really doesn't like Ronda Rousey, and I hope they do lose the titles, but I can't see it happening. I know it's Liv's first match back for a while, but for me, they're just on a tear at the minute, and I can't see them losing the titles here. Following that, we have Cody Rhodes taking on Dominic Mysterio. For me, I've got Dominic Mysterio to win the match. I feel like out of the two, Dominic has the most momentum and is overall probably the better professional wrestler. I think that, he's been having a great year so far. Cody has not been the same since WrestleMania, and no, I'm kidding. I do want Dominic to win. I feel like he will win, but I think it's going to be due to a fair bit of interference. I think it's going to be Rhea getting involved as she's not on the pay-per-view, so I assume that she's going to be coming out with Dominic. And I feel like Brock Lesnar's going to show up as well. They're going to have Brock take out Cody, cost him the match, because this would be a pretty significant loss for Cody, as he sees Dominic as such a lower opponent. I don't think so. I love Dominic. I'm all for the Judgment Day. But yeah, I think like in storyline and stuff like that, Cody sees Dominic as a child, and a loss to him would be, as I said, quite significant. And having Brock come out and cost him this match would probably be the right way to do it. And I feel like it would provoke Cody even more, therefore leading to a match at SummerSlam, maybe with no disqualifications or something like that, so we can finally have the rubber match between Cody and Brock and it kind of go all out. And yeah, that was where I was going to go. I kind of lost my words there, but yeah, so for me, I'm taking a risk. I've got Dominic to get the win here. Following that, we have Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor. For me, I feel like this is one of the harder matches on the card to predict. I know that Money in the Bank, I think, to be fair, most of the cards are actually quite hard to predict when you think about it. From here onwards, I've struggled a lot. But for me, I feel like Seth Rollins is going to retain here. Again, I'm fully for the Judgment Day, and I'd love Finn Balor to get the win here, and I feel like Finn fully deserves it to have a world title reign. But I feel like we're very early into the reign of Seth Rollins, and it seems like he's going to carry on defending it almost every week, or every other week at least, on Raw, and he's obviously defending it on NXT as well. He's proven himself to be the fighting champion that Triple H said we were going to have, and that I think we all deserve. I'd argue that given a few months, his reign would probably be better than Roman's as far as defenses go anyway. And yeah, I feel like this match is going to be really good. The story they built up for it has been really good as well. The video package that Balor did about Seth Rollins laughing at him when he had to vacate the Universal title was a really good way to go with it. It was obvious they were going to go that way, but the way they've told it has been really good. And obviously Seth's going in not 100%, but I don't feel like it's going to play a bit of a part, but not a major part in the match. And yeah, I think it's going to be really enjoyable. And as I said, though he's not going 100%, I think it's going to be one of the matches of the night, no doubt. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. But for me, I've got Seth Rollins to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Following that, we have the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, where we've got Io Sky, Bayley, Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, and Becky Lynch all vying for that briefcase. But yeah, I think out of the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, this is the hardest to predict. There's multiple reasons why any of them, maybe apart from Zelina Vega, could get the win. For me, you could have Io Sky help Bayley get the win. You could have Io Sky betray Bayley and get the win herself. You could have Zoe Stark get the win and have Trish be very paranoid about her overcoming her as a star through the next coming weeks and months. You could have Zoe Stark help Trish get the win, and you could also and then there is also Becky Lynch, who I feel like, for me, she's my choice. I'm gonna predict Becky Lynch to get the win. I know that she unclipped the briefcase and held it up on Raw. And I'm not gonna lie, when she did that, I think I messaged my brother and I was like, well, that's my pick gone, forget it. But no, I'm gonna stick with Becky. I've thought for months now that Becky's gonna get the Money in the Bank, and I'm gonna stick with it here. It's the only accomplishment she's not done yet. She's been tag champs, she's been SmackDown Women's Champ, Raw Women's Champ, tag champs, Royal Rumble winner. It's the only accolade she's not got. So that's the main reason why I feel like she's gonna get the win here. Though that's kind of me going with my head, my heart. I want Io Sky to get the win. I feel like she fully deserves it. The reaction she got at Backlash was fantastic, and she's been carrying on that since. And I feel like she'd be really good with the briefcase, and I'd love to see her and Asuka go at it on pay-per-view. That'll be an incredible match. But yeah, I can't. My head is just going full on Becky Lynch. As I said, I've been thinking about it. Before the match was announced, I was thinking Becky Lynch to get the win, therefore I'm going to stick with it. I would say Becky Lynch to be the new Miss Money in the Bank. After that, we have the Men's Money in the Bank ladder match, where we've got Damian Priest, Butch, Santos Escobar, Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, and Logan Paul, all vying for that Money in the Bank briefcase. For me, there are 2 winners here. It's either Logan Paul, which I really, really don't want. I cannot stress enough how unsufferable that's the word he will be if he wins that briefcase. And there's also been rumours going around that the men are going to have a successful cash in this year, and I really don't want Paul to be a champion in WWE. Again, cannot stress enough how much I really don't want that. But for me, my pick for Money in the Bank is LA Knight. Yeah, that's why I'm going for it. I feel like he got the most momentum, crowds behind him, and he said that it's just such good momentum for him. He fully deserves it. He's just, everything seems to be going in his direction at the minute, and he'd be such a good world champion, whether it's as a heel or as a face, or either way. Like the charisma, the Kavorka, he's got everything you need to be a world champion. And I don't get why they wouldn't just go for it. And I know that Triple H likes him, and it just makes the most sense overall. I can't stress enough how much it would help LA Knight and how much it would make just the programming more entertaining to watch with LA Knight as Mr. Money in the Bank and then as a world champion. And I feel like this Money in the Bank is going to play a big part in not a big part, but I feel like it's going to play a part in the main event, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, I think I know a lot of people talked about how this Money in the Bank is underwhelming. I disagree. I feel like this is a really good Money in the Bank, and what this should be used for. As most of these guys, apart from maybe Nakamura, haven't been in the main event for a while, or at least, or in some cases haven't been in the main event at all. And I feel like Money in the Bank is a good way to make new stars. Therefore, the match itself, I'm very happy with. And yeah, I'm just glad that we're trying to make new stars out of Money in the Bank, because that's what it should be there for. And yeah, I'm very much happy with that. Happy with the match. Apart from maybe Logan Paul being in it. Disagree with him in it overall, but that's a personal thing to be fair. But I think he'll be great in the match. Him and Ricochet had their spot at the Royal Rumble. So he's going to make it more enjoyable to watch. I just hope he doesn't get the win. Because for me, the winner is LA Knight. Yeah. And finally, in what I assume will be the main event of the evening, we have the Bloodline Civil War, where Roman and Solo are taking on the Usos. Man, this is going to be such a good match. It's going to be full of drama, it's going to be emotions, it's going to be everything we want it to be. I think I'm genuinely so excited to see how this goes down. It's been one of, if not the best storylines in WWE ever. It has been incredible, and I don't feel like this is the end of it here. I feel like the end of it will come at SummerSlam, but for me, it's just been so good, and I don't think I've liked the Usos so much. And the stuff with Roman's been fantastic. Becoming more of a fan of Roman Reigns than I was at the start of the title reign, like everybody else. And yeah, it's just been fantastic. But for me, I think that Usos are going to get the win here. And I know you should never bet against the bloodline, all that stuff. But for me, the Usos are getting the win, and Roman Reigns is going to take the pin. Now, I've been going back and forth about this, and I know it makes sense for Solo to kind of take the pin for this one. But to have Jimmy or Jay, especially Jay, pin Roman Reigns for the first time in like 3, maybe nearly 4 years would be huge, and the UK crowd would go nuts for it. And also adding on to the last point, it would also leave Roman in a very vulnerable state for maybe a cash-in of Money in the Bank. Now, if it's Logan Paul, I will be shouting at the TV for this not to happen, and if it's successful, I will probably lose it. But if it's LA Knight, then I'll be so happy to see LA Knight win the world title from Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. It'd be incredible. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest, but if it did, it'd be such a moment, honestly. I would love it so much. And like the last few WWE pay-per-views have been so good. Backlash was incredible, Night of Champions was great, and this one's looking it's going to be just as good. So WWE on a really good stretch of pay-per-views. It's been really good to watch. Raw and SmackDown have been way more better to watch as well compared to maybe this time last year, especially 2 years ago as well. So obviously everything's on the up and up with WWE, which is I'm really happy with. But for me, I know you should never, as I said, you should never bet against the bloodline, but I've got the Usos get the win here, and for Roman Reigns get pinned for the first time in years. So guys, those are my predictions for Money in the Bank. Do put down below in the comments who you think is going to win the briefcases and what you think is going to happen during the Civil War of the Bloodline. As you can see in the corner, I have 26 out of 37 predictions right so far on WWE pay-per-views. I'm hoping to make that 33 out of 44, but it's more than half, which I think is pretty good. And yeah, as I said, do comment down below what you think is going to happen. I'll ask you to like and subscribe, put the notification bell on, share, all that good stuff that everyone tells you to do on YouTube. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.